I think we've started. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rob Goodwin on the Red Sox Alley Show with a couple of guests tonight.
Good evening, Mr. Goodwin.
How are you, Mr. Corn? And we have another special guest on location in North Attleboro, Massachusetts, Steve Dresner by phone. How are you, Steve?
Excellent. How are you guys?
Hi, Steve. How you doing?
So you're on location covering the Aaron Hernandez situation in North Attleboro. You've had a long couple of days, I imagine. What's going on down there?
Well, a lot. I mean, you know, if you read Twitter, you could kind of get a good sense of public opinion. I mean, that's no secret. But as of when we're doing the show right now, the bottom line is there have been no official charges against Aaron Hernandez. No one has come out in law enforcement saying this is definitely a suspect. There's only speculation, and then there's Twitter. And we're covering the story for NFL Network, and I will say that along with ESPN and the other networks, the overall theme to covering the story is, Twitter can say, people can say what they want on Twitter, but until, the official press release comes out from police departments and so on, everything is speculation, and you've got to be very careful. But the bottom line is, as of this show, as we're talking, Aaron Hernandez has not been charged with anything.
And what are we hearing about the destroying of evidence, the busted cell phone, and the video surveillance which has been destroyed? Is that all just speculation, or is that true?
No, I can't confirm that. I cannot confirm it. It is part of what's been out there on Twitter. I mean, you can go down the laundry list. I mean, late this afternoon, there were even reports / speculation on Twitter that neighbors heard gunshots near the home on Monday evening. So, the plot thickens again if you go by what some of the reports on Twitter have.
Right.
There have been no official accounts. I mean, late this afternoon, early this evening, we were by the area where the body was found on Monday. It's in an undeveloped industrial area.
Right.
And right now that was also examined by police again today, which is Thursday. But there's been no confirmation of evidence found or anything. So we have a laundry list of various reports and accounts, but no official charges.
Yeah. We're having a little technical difficulties. The picture on the Google Hangout is switching between me and Corn as you're talking, Steve. So I think our viewers may be getting a little bit dizzy. So I have to apologize to them for that. So what's your schedule going forward? Do you know what it is? Can you say what it is?
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't.
Right.
I mean, I've covered Michael Vick from start to finish, Ray Lewis when he had his troubles during the Super Bowl. And, the situation is still fluid. This, a lot of things can happen between now and tomorrow, but we just don't know.
Right.
The major speculation was that Aaron Hernandez, we do know on Thursday he visited Gillette Stadium for about an hour, got in his car, and drove to the Prudential Center, presumably. We don't know who he met with. Again, Twitter speculation said that he met with his lawyer.
Right. Well, that would make sense.
We don't know for how long. We don't know when he left or where he went. But again, per Twitter and per various reports, he met with his lawyer. So, I don't know what that means. I don't know if he's involved in any type of deal made with authorities. But this is still a fluid situation, and a lot of questions still need to be answered. Interesting enough, we've not heard in the last day or two about his two friends who were at his house who were detained by law enforcement officials only for questioning, but they were later released. We haven't heard anything about them since.
Right. Well, and they were taken away in separate cruisers, from what I understand.
But they were later released.
Right.
They were later released.
Hey, Steve, let me interrupt you for...
There are a lot of moving parts to this. And as I mentioned to you later on this afternoon, reports saying that neighbors heard gunshots late Monday evening.
Right.
And police did interview some of the neighbors today. So, stuff like this doesn't get put together overnight.
Right.
As far as a timeline or a schedule is concerned, it's an ongoing investigation. Could we get some news tomorrow? I don't know.
Hey,
I don't know.
Steve, I want to interrupt you for a second. Hey, Corin, if you know how to turn your volume down, can you do that? Because the picture keeps switching on us. If you're not sure, it's okay. And so, Corin, what do you think of the situation? It's pretty crazy in North Attleboro with Aaron Hernandez and the impact on the Patriots. The Patriots have not yet made a statement. This is kind of I don't know. Would you say it puts a monkey wrench into their plans going into their workouts? Corin, what do you think the impact is on the Patriots as a team? With this kind of hanging over them right now, and Gronkowski being out on top of it, could be kind of an issue.
I don't know about that. Do you? I mean, do you really think it's going to affect the other players?
Well, they're already down at tight end. Everyone thinks Tebow can play tight end, but I don't know why people think that, but that's what people think part of the plan is.
What do you mean? What's going to affect them? The fact that there's a speculation about the murder charge, or?
Well, I mean, if Hernandez is out because of this issue.
Oh yeah.
If he loses time, if he has issues with keep him off the field, and they don't have Gronkowski at least to start with training camp, he's going to be on the PUP list beginning with training camp. No tight ends. That's a big problem.
Tim Tebow, tight end.
But gentlemen, let me interject what will be affected and what will be a big precedent here. I don't think it's so much of what roster depth chart, how it's going to affect Belichick's overall play. Let me go basic on you. What I think is going to happen is this could affect and influence the big money contracts. And if something goes askew with a player who just signed a big contract for the team, could this not be related to possibly Kraft and or Belichick testing that good old morality clause in a player's contract, possibly voiding the contract based on illegal performance or activities?
Well, the union's going to have something to say about that in any case, and the union will back up the player and defend the player, per the collective bargaining agreement. So I see what you're saying, but I think in practice it might be a little bit tough because I'm sure there's language in the collective bargaining agreement that prevents certain contractual language from being in a player's contract. At least that's my guess.
Well, this will be an interesting one. There's going to be a conference call shortly that I'm going to have to scoot off to, but I think that there are more people in the newspapers here in the Attleboro area, the Sun Chronicle and also in Foxborough, who are keeping an eye on that very fact, meaning what happens if there are charges or conspiracy charges, or even if he's connected to this, how will this affect the team? I don't even think it's on the minds of a lot of people right now.
Right.
I think it's just the fact that it's a serious situation. They're
Absolutely.
just trying to see if they're going to have Aaron Hernandez's services come the fall.
Mm-hmm. So so your conference call is shortly? Steve, your conference call is
what was that?
Your conference call is pretty soon?
Yes, shortly actually.
Okay. Well, we'll let you go. We appreciate you joining us direct from North Attleboro. And I hear the biggest gripe that the media has in situations like this is that when they're camped out outside someone's house, there's no bathrooms. Is that correct?
You got it. You got it. And thanks for having me, guys.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, Steve.
Take care.
So it's all speculation. No one's been charged with anything.
That's true. But the thing is that, there's this talk of him destroying his cell phone, which they'll get the cell phone records if there are any. There's talk about the fact that he destroyed his surveillance system at his house because there was video surveillance. Speculation that he was out with 4 guys, including the guy that was murdered, and they ended up back at his house, and only 3 of them came back.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy situation. Like you said, no one's been charged yet.
We'll see what happens,
Yeah, right. So moving on, Corey, have you seen a situation in June where there's stories about all four Boston sports teams have relevant stories going on, and only 2 of them are actually playing? Is that unbelievable?
Yeah, the Patriots with this thing. The Bruins are on their possibly going to win a Stanley Cup.
Well, and that's extremely exciting. Let's put it on the ice right now.
Celtics may have a new coach next year.
Yeah, I think we need to talk about what's going on the ice. I mean, it's a 2-2 in the series. The Blackhawks won in overtime 6-5 last night, and I think it's great that hockey's back in Boston, and ratings across the country are up. I'm excited about it. I haven't been excited about hockey in years.
The thing with the Bruins, though, that 6-5 score, does that tell you that maybe the Bruins the goalie isn't as hot as he was during the Pittsburgh series?
Well, I think this is probably the only game that he hasn't been hot, which is a great run in the last 2 series. I mean, they shut Pittsburgh out.
He shut Pittsburgh out, but he allowed 5 goals last night. Could that be an indication that maybe it's anybody's series right now?
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, Chicago has the home ice advantage right now, and if Rask lets them score this many goals going forward, obviously it's going to be a problem. And I'm no hockey expert. I wish we had our friend Joe Gill on because he's the expert when it comes to the Bruins. But yeah, I think if the next game is like the one that we had last night, I wouldn't look too favorably upon it because that means the Blackhawks have their offense in gear. And the Bruins have been great in shutting down some very difficult, some great offensive teams.
That's how they got there by shutting everybody out.
Right.
The other teams are scoring on them,
Yeah, once they got past the first series.
6 times last night, so
yeah,
offense is good.
Are you staying up and watch the game?
No.
I stayed up and watched it last night. I'm not willing to stay up through 3 overtimes.
The next game's Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to stay up to 3 overtimes, but 1 overtime I can handle.
I've never seen so many overtimes.
I know.
They played. It went into double overtime the first game, right?
Yep.
And then it went into overtime last night.
And the night before was triple overtime. Game 1 was triple overtime? Was it game 1?
Game 1 was double overtime, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
So they've played the equivalent of 5.5 games so far.
Right. Amazing. So anyways, there's this team called the Red Sox that we talk about.
Yeah,
and
they're playing Detroit tonight.
Yeah, they swept a doubleheader, which was a very long day of baseball on Tuesday with the rain delay for Game 1. Bailey gave up the potential winning run in the 9th inning, and then you saw Gomes win it with a walk-off.
Now that's the kind of the game that I think. I think that was a great game, but the Red Sox fan and the Red Sox press were talking about what a stupid move Farrell made, not letting Dubron finish the game, and he almost blew it. No. That was a great game. That they came back in walk-off fashion. I thought that was a great game, but evidently a lot of people didn't. They thought it was they could have lost. And
right. Corn, I think I might be having. You're not having any problems hearing me, are you?
No.
Okay, I'm just not seeing you. Your sound register on on Google Hangout. I'm hoping that our viewers can hear you, but I'm not certain.
Yeah, you can't hear me at all.
I can hear you fine, but I'm not sure that our viewers can.
Oh.
So I hope they haven't just been listening to me.
Well, nobody listens to me anyway, so.
So, yeah, I mean, Bailey's a little bit of a concern. He's blown a couple of saves recently. He's blown, I think, 3. Obviously hoping that he can stay healthy. That's key to having that closer out of the bullpen and not having to go to an alternate like Tazawa or Morton's, and that's for sure.
He'll figure it out. He'll come out of it.
Yeah.
He's not hitting his spots right now, but he will.
Yeah, and the AL East, as we said, is bunched up as a lot of people expected.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I expected the Red Sox to be where they are, but they certainly have a lot of positives going for them, and I'm spearheading the write-in campaign of Daniel Nava. Write him in on your All-Star ballot 25 times and then vote again because he deserves it. And I'm going to try to get a write-in campaign going with Yankee fans as well. I think they need to get behind Daniel Nava. What do you think?
I think so. Do you think he'll make it?
I think he'll be selected. I hope.
Yeah.
Maybe probably not by the fans.
Besides Buchholz and Poppy, who do you think will be on the team? Pedroia?
I would hope Pedroia. I mean, Buchholz could very well, make it in decline based on health issues. Of course, we've got a couple weeks to go, but that could happen. So I think they'll have some good representatives, unlike last year where it was only one. Poppy's not taking part in the home run derby this year. Cano asked him and he declined, which I don't really blame him for that.
So we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, the Celtics may have a new coach. They're trying to work a deal with the Clippers, although the NBA has said that any deal that includes the coach, even if it's a separate deal, will be null and void. So that the conventional wisdom is the Celtics will allow Doc Rivers to resign. He will sign with the Clippers, and then they'll make the trade and send Garnett to L.A. So they'll get around it somehow.
Yeah.
Do you think the relationship between Doc Rivers and the Celtics is irreparably harmed at this point?
No.
They've tried to trade him and it didn't work out.
No, I just think he wants to play in a better team. He wants to coach a better team.
Yeah.
That's all.
And the question is, are the Clippers better than the Celtics?
I don't know.
I hear they're okay.
Sometimes it's just time to leave,
Yeah. I mean, they haven't won anything ever. They've always played second fiddle, obviously, to the Lakers in L.A. But you never know.
He feels challenged, like Epstein and Terry Francona did when they came to Boston and won 2 world championships.
Well, and what they're saying also is that he just doesn't want to be in a rebuilding situation. That's what some say. Some say he doesn't want to be in a rebuilding situation.
You never know why a guy leaves a team, They're not going to explain themselves to, 5 million fans. They can't.
I think he will. I mean, I think he'll come out and say what the reason is. I don't think he'll be disrespectful to the Celtics organization and to Danny Ainge because, he's accomplished a lot with the Celtics and they were definitely partners during this whole thing. But I think he'll have to come out and say, what his feelings are, why he's going, because the fans are very knowledgeable about Doc, and he's well liked, and I think he will come out and say what it is.
You already know what he's going to say. He said it's been one of the greatest experiences of his life is being with the Celtics. He loves the fans, the organization. It's the greatest organization. Blah blah blah. But I discussed it with my family. Blah blah blah. And it's time to move on. That's what he's going to say.
Right. Hey, you know what? Then he doesn't have to say anything.
That's right.
Hey,
he'll say something like that. He'll leave graciously.
By the way, I verified that you are being heard worldwide on Google Hangouts, so you don't have to worry about it. You are definitely being heard.
I was really concerned that our adoring public wasn't going to hear my wisdom.
Well, no, I don't have to worry about that now. Unfortunately, Flanagan could not make it tonight. he was having some technical difficulties with his equipment. And I won't say what that equipment is, but it begins with an I and ends in a D, and it has a PA in the middle. But I won't say what equipment that was. So if the folks at Google are listening, they have some issues they need to iron out with the IPAD and Hangout. But I'm not saying what equipment he was using, but it's IPAD. Now, you're having no issues with your PC.
I got issues with everything.
So the Red Sox have been making a lot of roster moves lately, especially with the doubleheader. And talk a little bit about your buddy Alfredo Aceves and his contributions, spot starts lately.
I never saw anything like it. Have you?
No.
Have you ever seen a major league team with a pitcher in AAA, and they leave him in there until they need him, and he comes out like out of the bullpen type thing? He just
especially
comes
not.
out and he. Go ahead.
Especially not a veteran.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why he. I mean, I guess he has to accept the assignment, but to keep. I mean, don't you think he could opt out and go, you know what? If I'm good enough to do spot starts and pitch 5-6 innings with the Red Sox, I can start with someone else? I would.
I don't know.
I would say that. Hey, I'm good enough to start for Kansas City. Trade me. Release me. I'm out of here.
Who would you rather play for, Kansas City or be on a possible championship team?
Well, if I could be the number 5 starter of Kansas City and get a turnover every 5th day, and then parlay that into something else the year after, I would have to think about it. I'd want to be up in the major leagues pitching every 5th day. Whereas maybe you'd rather be in the minor leagues. I don't know.
I'd rather go unnoticed. No, he's probably. I think they're going to bring him up eventually. Don't you? If he keeps pitching like this.
Oh yeah, and I don't think it's waiting until September to bring him up. No.
Well, if he keeps putting on stellar performances like this, they're going to make it part of the rotation. It's a no-brainer.
And speaking of stellar performances, what about Dubron lately? I mean, he's come around. He pitched 8 innings last time out.
I know
a lot of people moan and groan, and I was one of them when Dubron pitched. It was almost like watching Daisuke pitch, but he's really come through with a couple of good starts lately, which I'm very impressed with. And I'm sure he's impressed that I'm impressed.
So who do they go into a 6-man rotation and bring up Aceves again, or put Aceves in a bullpen, or what do they do?
Well, if they put Aceves in the bullpen, then they have to send somebody down. I don't think they want to send Mortensen down. I mean, the bullpen's been so fluid anyways. They have Breslow back. They have nobody else on the disabled list.
Yeah.
To bring up as far as pitching staff's concerned. So it's almost like they have one less spot available. If they had one more spot, they keep Aceves permanently, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think all the issues with him, all the antics that he pulled earlier in the year, I think are over. And he's definitely a quality arm on that staff.
Yeah, and maybe the reputation he has around the league because of his personality. That could stifle a job for him. You know what I mean? He's a real loose cannon. I mean,
it could, but if somebody needed a good arm near the trade deadline, don't you think someone would grab him?
Oh, I think people are going after him right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know
right.
Because you can never have too much pitching.
I thought it was you can never have too much catching.
No, pitching.
Oh.
If it's hockey, you can never have too many goalies. Whatever.
So I guess just to make this podcast old right away, the Red Sox are winning 3-2 in Detroit.
In the top of the 8th?
Yeah, I'm surprised in Detroit they started at 7:08 tonight. Don't they usually start an hour later because of the time difference?
That would be 6 o'clock Detroit time. Yeah.
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 That's right in the middle of dinner.
That's right in the middle of dinner.
I know. So a week from tonight, what are you doing?
I'm going to be at Fenway Park with you. I get to talk to you all night long.
We're going to see Toronto.
Toronto, yep. I'm wondering who's pitching. Well, we'll find out, right?
Yeah. I think it's supposed to be kind of humid as we go into next week. So nice to have a nice night game. The only question is, during the game, would you be willing to give me a coffee if I want one? Because you owe me one.
If it's really, really hot and humid, I'll get you a hot coffee.
You owe me one.
Now watch you suffer. I'll get you an iced coffee, a cool one of those. What do you call it? With the
whipped cream?
Huh?
With the whipped cream?
Yeah, I'll get you one of those.
You know what I really want?
What's that?
I want one of those iced hot chocolates.
Iced hot chocolate?
Yeah, I don't know if they make them at Fenway, but they make them at Dunkin' Donuts.
How about those culottes there?
That'll be okay.
Yeah.
That'll be all right.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm gonna want to have it when I want to have it, not when it's convenient for you.
I'm gonna get you a popsicle. You stick it in your mouth. I won't have to listen to you.
I think I could deal with that.
Okay.
All right. Any final thoughts before we conclude the show?
Nope. I think they're in great shape. I mean, a lot of people are a little nervous about Bailey. His last couple starts weren't. He gave up a couple home runs the last couple of outings, but I'm not. I don't know. I'm not worried. I think they're the best team in the American League right now.
Look,
and they were the worst team in the American League a year ago. What more do you want?
If John Lackey can be a big contributor to this staff right now, they got no problems.
You going to make a prediction?
Yeah, you know how I am with predictions. Okay, I'll make a prediction. They're going to make the playoffs.
Oh, definitely. Who's going to win the division?
Yeah, but they're always in. Yeah, because they're always in first place in June, and then they lose, and then they're out of it.
Oh no, Boston fans don't say that. It's always some dope to hear some mantra 35 years ago, after the Bucky Dent home run or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to say that.
There's 30 teams in Major League Baseball. 29 of them are going to collapse eventually.
Right. Well, I just want to say that I'm recovered from the Bill Lee interview last show. If anyone missed it, check it out. I've recovered from that interview.
He was awesome.
and we're sorry if anyone was offended watching the show or listening to the show with Bill Lee and some of his comments.
Nah.
Don't write any letters. Don't call us. We hope no one was offended.
Yeah, no.
It was all in fun.
Do you remember him at the autograph signing up in Windsor Locks?
I do. And he remembered too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just one question. What do you think of so you're in the Northern Connecticut studios. I'm in the library of the Central Connecticut studios. I've tried to dress up the place behind me with some Red Sox stuff. Does it look okay?
Well, a lot of books back there. So maybe people think you're intelligent because you read a lot.
That's true, but you see the glove over here.
I like that plaque behind your right shoulder with all the what that is it's the design of all the uniforms they've had
right there, right? Yeah. Yep.
You can't see it that clearly, but it's a pretty neat. It's got all the different designs from 100 years ago up to now.
Right, and I think I got that probably 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I got a couple of autographed baseballs, one above my head, one above my shoulder to I think the viewer's left. A baseball glove, my oversized soda cup from Fenway. So I tried to dress up the place. What do you think?
You can't see it, but behind me is a little like a shadow box type thing. All my stadium pins. I have a little hobby where I go to different 1 or 2 different stadiums every year.
I think at some point I need to pop over to the Northern Connecticut studios, and do a video and have you show me all the memorabilia that you've collected, all the pictures that you have, because you've got some neat stuff there.
Yeah. Well, I got pins from the stadiums and ticket stubs from the stadiums I've been to.
Yep. And you also have some pictures of Fenway from the real opening day in 1912. Yeah. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that.
A picture like you do of Fenway when we saw them at this. It's right behind your. It's right above the that plaque there.
Right there.
Opening day when they got their rings, their World Championship rings.
Exactly.
You and I went to that. We wanted to take 2 separate cars.
Why?
In case the car broke down on the way up, we'd be able to get there.
Well, thank God that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Well, we were going to prepare for that contingency plan just in case.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was amazing seeing that World Championship flag come down that left field wall there.
Exactly. All right, Corn. Hey, thanks for joining me tonight. Also, thanks to Steve Dresner, who is on location with NFL Network in North Attleboro. Basically, I guess there's a lot of speculation that's being written, and he really wasn't able to confirm much of anything, which tells you that it's all speculation right now until someone's charged.
Yeah. We'll find out soon, though, I think.
I would think so.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to cue the music, and then we wish everyone a good night. Hope everyone has a great rest of the week and a great weekend. Thanks, Corn. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.